Now we will know about the achalasia. Achalasia is very important for both part 1 and part 2, and it is come invariably in the exam. Okay, so in case of achalasia, just opposite to the gastroesophageal reflux disease. That means in case of achalasia, the lower esophageal sphincter will be very tight, and for this reason, the the food materials wouldn't be go in the stomach easily. So in case of achalasia cardia, actually there will be failure of the relaxation of the lower esophageal sphincter due to degenerative loss of ganglia from the aerobrac plexus. So in case of achalasia in the lower esophagus, the aerobrac plexus, that means the nervous plexus in the lower esophagus will be lost. For this reason, this lower esophagus will be in conic contraction. Tonic contraction. For this tonic contraction, the relaxation of the esophagus in response to food will be failed. And this achalasia cardia is common in case of in the Middle East people, in especially in the third to fifth decade, and men and women are equally affected with this achalasia cardia. Now, the presentation of the achalasia cardia, importantly, the symptom usually develop years before the patient present, and typically variation in the severity of the symptoms. Most importantly, this patient has dysphagia both for liquid and solid simultaneously. But in case of esophageal carcinoma, the solid food dysphagia should become first, then the liquid food. But in case of achalasia, both liquid and solid food dysphagia will occur. Very important. And as the food content is not going or passing through the esophagus, so this food content may reflux, and this patient may have heartburn or water brush. And there may be some vague discomfort is very common, and regurgitation of food, and it may lead to nocturnal cough or aspiration pneumonia. In some patients, malignant change may occur. So, in case of diagnosis of achalasia, the most important test should be the esophageal manometry. In case of esophageal manometry, we can see the tonic contraction of the lower esophagus, and by this method we then diagnose this patient very confidently. So the investigation of choice for the achalasia cardia should be the esophageal manometry. Initially, we can do the barium swallow X-ray, and in case of barium swallow X-ray, you can see the lower esophagus is very contracted, and upper part or proximal part of the esophagus is dilated. It is called the bird beak appearance or rat tail appearance. So by this method, we also can diagnose this patient of achalasia cardia, and we can do the chest X-ray, but maybe the diagnosis is non or findings may be very non-specific, like wide mediastinum and fluid level. And also we can diagnose this patient with endoscopy. Okay, so the most important the investigation should be the esophageal manometry for the diagnosis of achalasia cardia. Now, the treatment of achalasia cardia, the treatment should be the Heller's cardiomyotomy. Nowadays, Heller's modified cardiomyotomy may be done. So the surgical option should be the Heller's cardiomyotomy. But nowadays, endoscopic myotomy is doing very widely. That is called the POEM therapy. That means paroral endoscopic myotomy. In this POEM therapy or paroral endoscopic myotomy, it is not needed to open the chest to fix the lower esophagus, and we can do this procedure by the endoscopically. So this is very important for our exam nowadays. And we can also do some temporary measures like the balloon dilatation, botulinum toxin injection. And but in this procedure or the temporary procedure, it will relieve the symptoms for near about 4 to 6 months only. It is not permanent solution. And also we can initially give this patient some drugs like the nifedipine and nitrates, just improve the symptom of the patient. So the most important treatment for the achalasia is the Heller's cardiomyotomy and nowadays POEM.